person where they do evil, no one make person talk. Them say that Maiyegun, that man do they talk. He do they talk. Say Maiyegun diary, he dey hot like pepper. But every day, then they take money in bulk. Poor man pikin, they the street, they hawk. Still them talk say, make we no talk. But thank God say, Maiyegun don't come. So my people make you laugh. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, my people make you shout. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come, man of the masses. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun diary Politico. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo, this man not dey off in mind. Oh yo yo, Maiyegun don't come. Oh yo yo.
We have to do something about it. It's not about whether, it's actually quite stupid to go and buy yourself a fancy car in a land like this. It doesn't make sense. A car anyways is a liability, it's not an asset. You understand? We've got to do something about our country. And only people who are genuinely rooted in Christ will be able to deliver on God's purposes for this nation. Does he have a purpose for it? Of course. Look at the amount of resources he has put in Nigeria. Look at the resilience of the Nigerian. Look at how Nigerians are succeeding everywhere in the world, whether they left Nigeria 400 years ago or left Nigeria on a plane 50 years ago. They excel. We're at the top of the treasury in the United States. We're at the top of the World Bank. The list is very long in all the sciences and in all the arts. So the problem is not Nigerians. It is Nigeria and its constitution. The document upon which we were formed was a few soldiers who put it together and their surrogates. And that's what's supposedly holding us together. The foundation is that document. And if that foundation is faulty, what can the righteous do? We've got to go back to the foundation. The next administration must not access power until we have a veritable constitution that is...
Anon. Hello there. Good evening to you, good morning, or good afternoon to you from wherever you're watching from. Everything good, top of the moment to you and your household. Even Werewike, David Umahi of Ebonyi, Werewike of Rivers State, they are not bold enough, despite the billions they have access to, despite the billions they are stealing themselves, they no bond them well to publicly say, as much as PDP dey, Baba na local champion, oh, even Werewike would rather negotiate to be deputy to anybody from the north. That is the dilemma. Are you with me? Peter Obi, who has paid, well, you can say he's paid all the dues. He tick all the boxes. If you are looking for Igbo man, we match everything they are looking for in Nigeria, that is even very smart. You will see Peter Obi, but no, forget it. Peter Obi can only be your president in Biafra. And you know why? Even PDP, they will not dare. He no go say. So even Peter Obi, as much as he himself, or if you ask him, he will tell you that I will be a better president, I will blah 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 blah. No, story. In reality, it is not possible. Yes. He would rather settle for something else. So in PDP, even Southerners, even Biafrans, who are fighting their brothers and sisters in Biafra because of PDP, they themselves, they are not bold enough to say, we get person wey fit be president. They know, say he no fit fly. Nobody will move the billions for him. Do you understand? They are now pushing Atiku again. Now look at the dilemma, okay? Whenever an Igbo PDP person or even APC Igbo want to criminalize IPOB, same way PDP this is not funny, right? Same way PDP Buhari idiot, Buhari din, the Buhari did. I mean, sorry, articulutas, PDP articulutas, APC Buhari dins, Buhari didn't, who are from the southwest. So, the same way they will attack anybody talking about Oduduwa Republic. But the dilemma here is this, or let me say the difference is this. A PDP articulutas will condemn a Biafran and tell him that Biafrans stand a chance of producing president if all the IPOB members can try to be nice, to be friendly, to pretend that they love Nigeria. So, and try and love Adamu, and try and love Umoru, and try and love Adekunle, and say they love them, and pretend like everybody else, so that Adekunle can love Emeka back, Musa can love Ngozi back, and Abdullahi can finally say, DK is going to be his brother from across the Niger. So the PDP want IPOB to do that so that they can get president. But you know, in reality, they no say they no fit. Money no day to do it. They need an Atiku. Atiku we personally gave 6 billion to APC. Person we personally spent over 10 billion for his own to be president. Even when some of the PDP governors don't go hard money. Do you get that now? Atiku get the money that is also managed. And the button know all these things that they have looted. All of a sudden, multi-billion, you know what I'm talking about anyway, right? He get the money. And that is their hope. So for 2023 now, my brothers and sisters, people will attack you because you are asking for Biafra. You will see your brother explaining to you why Atiku should be president so that an Igbo man can be deputy. So that when Atiku finish, Atiku has promised them is going to do just 4 years. So an Igbo man can be president. Yes. As if to say, oh man. You remember that was what they told you too, as the Yorubas, Abi? It was meant to be an easy ride. Whenever Bokwari finished, Oshimbade will take over. No be so? It shouldn't be all this yam pepper scatter. It should just be an easy peasy thing. Abi? Now today, all of you are going to be paid. Those of you at Tifnubu, Lagos Abobakus, your job is to go and tell me. Imagine somebody paying you or somebody telling you to come and tell me that it is the right thing to do to defend a Yoruba man to be president. Something they told you 6 years ago that it was going to be an easy ride. All you needed was just to, vote Bokwari and think Osinbajo. Remember, 6 years after that, somebody is going to now tell you to come and tell me that we have a lot of work to do. But it was meant to be easy. I mean, they were supposed to deliver and nobody should even question it. You know what I'm talking about? Bokwari should just come out and nominate Osinbade, and everybody from everywhere should just agree. Not be waiting there and tell you be that. Abi your Stockholm syndrome don't reach this advanced level. Abi na selective amnesia. Selective ignorance. Or is it just a living in denial? Come on. I will remind you. My job is to remind you. I am reminding you now. Was it not supposed to be an easy ride? Are we not just also? Are you not supposed to just be getting ready now and waiting for the next crown prince? Are you supposed to convince me? Are you supposed to tell me reason why Oshibade should be president again? Abina Atifnumbu. Some of you are not even talking about Oshibade anymore. Eh? Some of you are. This is it, oh. People are going to be paid to tell you that all of a sudden, they have found the solution. And all we need, just that. Let us just come together and forget all of that emotional blackmail. I understand, but we cannot just break up. Have you seen people? Have you heard people with that argument, that line? You know, it's a good thing. I support Oduduwa Republic, but you see, they are not just going to give it. They are not going to just do it like that. Let us, you know what? Let us take the power. When we take the power, then we can take anything we can do. Ẹ̀gbọ́n, orí yín ò pé rárá, orí yín ò pé, you know well. At all. Is that not the same thing they told you then? And honestly, I really feel bad though, because there are people like that. Some of them are watching me right now. It doesn't make sense. All of a sudden, they now know what to do. And then you support Oduduwa Republic. Yeah, you know, my brother, I support Oduduwa Republic. It's a very good thing. But they are not going to give us. Who are they? Are we not supposed to be living as better people? Because they told us that we're going to live as a better people. Because we deserve to live as a better people. Then the people who couldn't do that, who took us through this level, all of a sudden, they have failed us, killed us, do everything. And you think that because somebody is going to tell you this beautiful idea, ẹ̀gbọ́n, orí yín ò pé now. I mean, kò possible kó orí yín pé now. It is not possible that you are all right. If you actually think, you can actually talk to anyone and convince them by blackmailing them into be hopeful like you in people who have failed. Like, kò possible now, kò possible kó orí yín pé. And normally, I actually feel I can help. I mean,
because I really wish I could really help. I really wish I could help. It's very painful, truly. I can't.
Possible, you can't be all right. And there are people that are going to do it. That's where I'm going. Because there are people already doing it. How can you convince me that the people that cannot keep me safe, keep our people safe, the people that cannot build viable economy that will give ordinary people job? I mean, come on. 24 hours electricity. It is not a rocket science. How do you want me to be I mean, apart from the fact that it's an insult, apart from the fact that it's an insult, if you ever think it makes any sense to whether you are a Biafran, whether you are Oduduwa, whether you are Arewa, I don't care what you want to, where that wisdom is coming from. You want people to believe in the same people, whether PDP or APC, and you're actually going to do that by telling them that you have a theory that once this person becomes that is a very close to what? Come on.
You think say they're wise? You are a mumu man. a mumu man. And then throw the guy.
A mumu person. But there are people that are going to do it. But that won't stop us from talking. They're going to do a lot. They are going to try to overwhelm us. They are going to try to overwhelm us. They're going to blackmail you. They're going to tell you to wait. And let me tell you something. The easiest way for anybody to blackmail you is to tell you that they believe in what you believe in. Then turn around to reject that same thing you believe in by giving you an excuse that it's not that I don't believe in what you believe in. But how are you going to do it? They are not going to let you do it. But then ask you to support them, support him, to support the criminals. Because they have a theory that if you wait, maybe for some time, but when you look at it very well, there is no real plan. You are going to see Igbos, Yorubas, everyone tearing themselves apart. And the people who believe they control power, they are just going to watch you like, see them. They think that they're wise.
You think they're wise? You are a mumu man. You are a mumu man. And then throw the guy.
It doesn't matter what he said there. So when somebody asks, then Maiyegun, what is the solution? Baba, you will arrive at your own solution. I have just told you, if you are one of those who are believing, and you are actually going to try and convince other people, simply because your instinct tells you they are not going to let it happen. Who are the day that are going to pay you, that are going to pay people to tell you that it's never going to happen? They asked the National Assembly invited the current Chief of Army Staff, Atahiru, the man that replaced Buratai the Butcher. Buratai the Butcher, the killer, the man that killed more than 10,000 Nigerians using Nigerian soldiers. The people who suffered the most casualties in the hand of Buratai the Butcher are the Igbos, the Biafrans. They killed them, kidnapped them silently, disposed of their bodies, hide them away. The second people who have suffered in the hand of Buratai the Butcher, they are the Shiites, where El-Zazaki is their leader. El-Zazaki, according to America, has been listed as a political prisoner in Nigeria. This was made happen by Buratai the Butcher. Under Buratai the Butcher, in 6 years, Nigeria terrorist group who were remotely in some local government areas in Borno State, they they diversified the business of terrorism. They grew into other parts of terrorism that we've never witnessed before. They call them bandits and banditries. Yeah? Kidnapping, killing, raping, ravaging lands, and destroying everything that they come across. And Nigeria, that Buratai the Butcher was the Chief of Army Staff of, while Nigeria, that he was the Chief of Army Staff of, was bleeding in the hands through the bullets of the invading terrorists all over the country. Their soldiers are also bleeding and killing their own citizens simply because they are identified as IPOB, indigenous people of Biafra. So this, while Buratai the Butcher was swimming in the blood of the people he sworn to protect. He was also smiling to the bank. In 4 years, they spent over 2 trillion naira fighting the terrorism, well, supposedly fighting terrorism, buying weapons to upgrade the Nigerian military to combat terrorism. But instead of them to end terrorism, terrorism escalated in Nigeria. We now have all kinds of terrorists, starting from the president of the country, a ghost worker whose ghost is terrorizing his own citizens. Whenever he's outside the country, that is when they order killings and the massacring and cover up of their own citizens. A ghost. In 6 years, more people have been killed, more people have been displaced, more people have been sent to exile. And what do you get? An arrogant, unaccountable military, security forces. Buratai the butcher, who publicly shot and killed over 1,476 Shiites in Kaduna, in Zaria, Kaduna, and killed many of them afterward. The man that supervised the killing of thousands of Biafrans, yes, killed thousands of them. Many of them killed in broad daylight. Python Dance 1, Python Dance 2, Python Dance 3, until the ESN came. The same Buratai the butcher, a man whose image, wherever you have it, is dripping of blood of innocent people. Rather than him to face justice, rather than him to face prosecution and investigation for all these crimes, he got rewarded by Bokwari, a ghost. Not just him. Why thousands died, millions displaced, billions of properties destroyed, and terrorists now kings in Nigeria, Buratai the butcher and the other service chiefs like him, they retired into a life of luxury, a life of opulence, which they have been living anyway, being generals in Nigeria, the generals that cannot fight war, the generals defeated by terrorists. They got rewarded. Bokwari forwarded their names to the National Assembly to be made ambassadors of Nigeria, ambassador designate. They are now ambassadors after retirement, while they got rewarded with monetary and landed properties for their great effort in keeping a terrorist in government for 6 years. The man that took over was asked to come and give account of all they have spent in combating terrorism in Nigeria. Rather than terrorism to end, it has become a multi-billion dollars industry that even America came out to say, we cannot help Nigeria because your military, as much as they claim to be fighting the terrorists, they are not. The human rights abuses, extrajudicial killing, kidnapping of innocent people. America is talking about those who have become religiously persecuted. These are documented evidence of crimes committed by the Nigerian military. They keep denying, but you saw what happened at Lekki Toll Gate. This is the recent one. You saw what happened at Obigo. You saw what happened in Olu. You saw what happened in Owerri. You saw what they have been doing everywhere. You saw what they are doing in Aba. The whole world is seeing them, indicting them. When you give them weapon, it is either they give the weapons to the terrorists. How dare terrorists able to attack military barracks where the military live, where their weapons are stored, and the terrorists are overpowering them? How is that even possible? And they cut away all the military weapons. So for years, trillions of naira spent, billions of dollars borrowed, unaccounted for, and so many other properties abroad linked to these generals. Rather than them to account for this, in all of this incompetence and this collusion, the military, these terrorists have become stronger. Call them any name you want to call them. They are terrorists. Call them bandits, call them Fulani bandits, call them anything. They are terrorists, terrorizing the people of Nigeria, supposed people of Nigeria. Eh? But rather than the military buying all these weapons, borrowing all this money, collecting all these weapons from everywhere, rather than them to cut and reduce the terrorism, the terrorists have become stronger, taking over the military weapons. They now have rocket launchers. They are able to shoot down the military plane, able to shoot down anything. Where are the weapons? Soldiers are complaining. They are not paid. Soldiers are resigning, leaving the military because of bad treatment, poor weapons. These whole things are documented. And America says, we are not going to give you these weapons because all these weapons are going to end up in the hand of the terrorists. And when you finally arrest the terrorists, you rehabilitate them, you release them. Who does that? And they go back there to kidnap again. When you give them money, you buy them weapons, they attack your barracks, take all your weapons. All of these things stinks of complete state-sponsored terrorism. And when when your citizens react, you turn your soldiers on them, you bomb them, you kill them, you even bomb internally displaced people, refugees, in their own country. You bomb them. For what? We can't give you weapons. We can't give you all these quality weapons to go and give them to terrorists. The one you are getting, the money you are getting, they are ending up in the hand of terrorists. America said that. Yeah? And they now call the current one Atahiru. Atahiru, come and tell us. First, he told them, you can't call me, you can't invite me. You know this. This was the same arrogance of this Buratai the butcher. He never showed up. He will never honor that. It's like, I'm not working for you. If I come there, I just want to come and just entertain you. This same one is not different.
After an invitation and a summon, the Chief of Army Staff, General Atahiru Ibrahim, appears before the House Ad Hoc Committee on Arms and Ammunition Control. The committee is reviewing the purchase, use and control of arms, ammunition and related hardware by military, paramilitary and other law enforcement agencies in Nigeria. The Chief of Army Staff begins by explaining why he failed to honor previous invitations.
I was either in the Northeast or Southeastern Nigeria, or better still in the South, trying to ensure stability within Nigeria.
But the lawmakers want more than an explanation.
One would have expected that today that you are able to make this, honor this invitation, there would have been something that sounds like an apology for not being able to make it all along. What we have gotten is an explanation.
When you say I offered an explanation, it's as good as an apology. It only tells you the reason why I wasn't here, and the reasons are cogent enough. Even the blind man knows there are problems of internal security in Nigeria. So I think it suffices to explain to this honorable house, the way you work for the Nigerian people is the same way I equally work for the Nigerian people. I command the Nigerian army that is equally peopled by Nigerian representatives from everywhere you come from. Thank you.
When that dust settles, the committee asks the Chief of Army Staff to speak to the documents which he provided, but he declines.
Please, you have the floor. If you have this submission with you, so that you can brief us on it.
The submission before you speaks to the report before you. It is an executive summary. It is very self-explanatory to the extent that it has been periodized.
The Chief of Army Staff, who has barely settled into office, does not agree that he should be responsible.
He doesn't believe that he should be responsible to answer questions about whatever Buratai the butcher did when he was in office, because nobody is responsible. He knows that those people can never, who born them, invite Buratai the butcher. invite him. Who are you? Do you get that now? But when they needed to pass and approve Buratai the Butcher as ambassador, Buratai and his gang of criminals, they came there for verification so that they can become ambassadors. But this guy will not answer any question about the weapons, and he's now in charge. As a government, they're asking you, can you give record of all the weapons you bought with the money you have spent now that you are
provided? Speak to the documents which he provided, but he declines.
Please, you have the floor. If you have this submission with you, so that you can brief us on it.
The submission before you speaks to the report before you. It is an executive summary. It is very self-explanatory to the extent that it has been periodized.
The Chief of Army Staff, who has barely settled into office, does not agree that he should be responsible for purchases which he did not make.
The period for which you wanted this report, having been summarized in the executive summary, explains whatever details you will require. Issues of procurement that you so demand to get to know were done by specific individuals. I would rather prefer you call these individuals to better explain to you very specific issues.
Your appointment, we congratulate your appointment. That is the well-deserved appointment. But when the parliament call you, it should be civil. When the parliament call you, you should respect the parliament and address the issue within the parliament. We know that those individuals that were holding those positions were holding it under you, even under your predecessor.
Of any investigation.
The lawmakers are also furious that the Chief of Army Staff has refused to follow its procedures and adopt the document which he presented.
What he has presented, he has presented to us an evidence, but he has to own it up, and it has to be on oath. And Mr. Chairman, distinguished colleagues, it is not the Chief of Staff that will tell us how to do our job. It is wrong.
Fearing further escalation, journalists are excused and the meeting continues behind closed doors. About 45 minutes later, the meeting ends and the lawmakers say the Chief of Army Staff has agreed to provide them with necessary information. Terry Ikumi.
Information that you will never hear about again. They cannot account for the money they spent on ammunition. Now, do you see why everywhere is still? Can you see it now? He said the reason why he couldn't come was because it's either he's working in the northeast. The place Boko Haram have been killing people, kill soldiers, kill everybody in the last few days. And it's been like that since this guy came on. Kidnapping people in Kaduna. School children kidnapped in Kaduna. They said they released 5 of them from 39. What happened to the remaining 34? This guy said he's either there or he's in the southeast, killing Biafrans that hopeless Uzodingba or Uzodinjo profiles. Do you now see why there's nothing? If anybody is telling you that to hold on, these are the guys that are going to plan coup. When they give you the taste of that presidency, you are salivating for. Yoruba should be president. Is Igbo turn to be president? All of us, don't let them deceive you. If Yoruba man is doing all of this, they want to discourage us from the Olodo. You are a mumu man. Just wait for your time. You will come to your own reality. So you can tell that anything anyone wants to tell you, whatever they want to try to blackmail you with, it is not worth it. Don't buy it. Continue to hold your ground. Tell everyone you know about that. You should hold your ground because that's all you have. If you shift your ground, You know, as Nigeria, they roll on the whole, eh? That's what it is. Just like that. I have my reason for telling you because I know it's going to happen. So, and I'm going to sit down here and I'm going to be talking about it. Some of them are going to be attacking me as usual. I live through that season every now and then. You know, their election is war, but they have a bigger war that is even going to consume the election itself. Do you understand? But you, my friends, on the Temple of Truth, you know how we do it, eh? We tell ourselves because we can see ahead. We are the elders. Look at everything we have seen. Some of all these things happening today. Many of us have seen it, and we are not even 40. But when you see these elders who told you they are seeing prosperity, whatever Tifnubu saw, Baba, na refugee. When Tifnubu was saying he was seeing the future for Yoruba people, Oduduwa people in 1999, Alliance for Democracy, Democracy for Justice, Alliance for Democracy, Justice, Democracy, Justice, Oduduwa, Afenifere, all these things, eh? What was that vision that Tifnubu saw in 1999? Now, is it the future that will make you Agbero? Today, some of the youth in Yoruba land, they are aspiring Agberos. Some of them want to become because when you see MC Olueran, for example, the likes of MC Olueran, who happens to be a role model to millions, so you don't have an idea. Is that the vision they saw? That all of us should be conductor, all of us should be all right, sir. Yeah, Baba, Aṣíwájú universe, Aṣíwájú Baba that Baba for the boys. Is that the vision? You go school, Baba. Eh? They told you that you are the leaders of tomorrow. 22 years ago, some of us were teenagers. 22 years ago, I was probably just 17 years old. So if they told you that Tifnubu saw vision, even we are seeing better vision. Many people saw that once Bukwari become your president, if you get visa, go use them. If you don't get passport, go get them. If you don't know, and if you don't get all of that, if you don't know how to fast and pray, Baba, go learn them. Anything, you go run them. When Buhari come, if they push you enter the wall, if they push you to the wall, you have to learn how to make a hole. So some people saw that. When they said 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day, did you not understand? Were that is disguising. All the were disguising then. The vision they saw, was it not 1 meal a day, 1 meal a day for our children when they go to school, lunch? Abi? Now they have changed that now. They have changed it for you. 1 meal a day has become the routine of so many people. Is that a vision? That you will give birth to your children and you will become a prayer warrior for a better life for them, because you know that better life scarce. If you get whole no be so. Is that the vision they saw 22 years ago? What is the vision for the next 22 years? Eh? People are now, you see, let me tell you something. Practically, if you go to Lagos, you will see people trying to survive. That is normal nature of Lagos, Abi. But when you pay attention to the type of people who are trying to survive, the people who are trying to hustle you, right? Now, you will see where Alabaru, people carrying load, carrying heavy stuff, like that. And you will see somebody, even you will see some of these carriers, they call them carriers. They will help you carry when you buy stuff, they will carry it for you from point A to point B, maybe to your car or to somewhere you probably get a taxi or anywhere, right? In that same environment, you will see those who have nothing, their own job is to collect tax from the money you are going to pay to that person carrying that load. right? In Lagos, so not just in Lagos, in so many, but in Lagos, Alabaru, they pay owo loading. If you have a taxi or you have any vehicle and you have to stop by to carry anybody, you will pay owo loading. Owo loading means you pay money, the right to load anywhere. They have different uniforms. They legitimize all of that nonsense, okay? Owo loading. Then somebody is also collecting owo loading from another person who is a carrier. They call them carrier in that same vicinity. Every morning, all these people subjected to this life, the one that is carrying load, the one that is carrying a load with car or with his with her head, the one that is collecting money from them, they will all go back home every night, wake up every morning, and go to their place of work, they call it, so as to go and terrorize themselves more. You know, the people who now put them in all of this, they are the Baba. Baba. Oh man, if you see it, if you see it, if Numbu Hotel, Baba, you go pray to God to bless your child. You will pray that God should bless your child. He didn't believe that his child deserved a proper education to build a life that probably will build a better Oriental hotel, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that at the end of the day, oppression versus oppressor, they will still come back to defend the same people who put them in that oppression, okay? Now, as I'm asking you, say that was the vision 22 years ago, that you are going to become Alabaru, or you are going to be collecting tax from Alabaru because there is money there. And there are many, many others that I can give you instances of. Say now the future. So what is then going to be the 22 years vision of these people for you? If 22 years ago, this is the vision, Abi no be the vision be this, that we are all going to be buying guns to defend ourselves against invaders. So they have built that vision, in my own opinion, that vision they had 22 years ago when they sold democracy to you. That vision is that today, you and I, we have to fight and aspire, perspire, maguire to acquire, and then to require, then to what? To become another oppressor. Wait for your time. I'm waiting for the time I'm going to be oppressor too. My time will come. Now your time. You know that mentality. That is the vision they have. Today, people are waiting for their turn. If not me, you will listen to something say, can you imagine? Somebody that just, because he's a senator, and he slapped that woman. What is wrong with people? Say, look at that woman self, calling the senator stupid man. Baba, let us be honest. Let us be honest to ourselves. Let's be honest. If not me too, a senator, do you even understand what a senator is? A senator. Senator. If you see a senator, you have to respect yourself. That woman was just talking and talking and talking and talking. See, if I am a senator, if anybody talk to me anyhow, I'll just tell my boys, I'll just tell the security, you know what? Oh yeah, grab. Have you ever seen people like that before? Telling you what they would do if they have the same power? Just because they feel like maybe the people they are talking about, if they were in their shoes, they would do more. Have you listened to people like that? You have been reading comments like that. Go on Facebook. If you want to see people who want to tell you what they will do to Nnamdi Kanu, if they were supposed to be Boko Haram, then you will realize that this is the country they have created. A country where everybody is waiting for his own turn to oppress. Do you understand? That's the society, that's the country. So what is the next 22 years plan? People who made this country now a country of survivor, hustlers. Everybody is hustling everybody. Wait for your turn. Wait for your time. Baba, if now you go do worse. If now you go do more than that. Baba, stop complaining. Baba, if now me, I go just be, Baba, let us be honest. That is the country they have built for you. A country of, I'm waiting for my turn. Baba, if I get 10 million like this, I go first buy Benz. That one, when we say, if my landlord cross road, I go hit him, breaking leg. That madman, I hate him. If I get my first money like this, I'll just buy all the houses on this street and I'll demolish everything because of my landlord. You see that woman, I wish. I'm waiting for the time I'm going to have money. Is that not the country they built for you? Is that not the country they are telling you to become united? Everybody is waiting for his own turn. Some people are now saying, me, I know they wait for my turn. No. I know they wait for my turn to be killed. I know they wait for my turn to kill somebody. I would rather go and fight for something that will make me feel safe, that will make me be a friendly neighbor, lovely neighbor. No be, what did they call them? Fake, what do you call it? Enemy friend or something like that. You get what I'm talking about? People have choices. We should continue to talk about this to build people's confidence. It's like to build their confidence, right? It's important. You may not really, people have told me repeatedly, and I so much appreciate all of that, okay? That, Maiyegun, just continue doing what you are doing. You may not really know how much people are being made to unlearn what they have learned and to tell themselves, to ask themselves some critical questions that normally they would never entertain, just for listening to you. Just continue doing it. When we begin to have this enlightened populace across board, the issue of religion, tribe, politics, and the rest of that, they will be so hard to use on you, on any of us. You can't use religion on me anymore now. There's nothing you will say about religion that will offend me. And I'm not going to say anything that will offend anybody about religion. And that is why I always like pretty much tell you, give my own caveat and say, well, if anything I'm about to say about this religion of a thing, if it comes out wrong to you, I don't want you to see it that way. It is not an attack on your belief. It is not an attack on your religion. And I might be mentioning names of people who have used this because these people have used that same religion to hoodwink people and to pass my messages across. There's no way I'm not going to mention their religion. So I do that because I am responsible for everything I say. I am not responsible for how you take it. But people have told me, yes, I get feedback. Maiyegun, just continue. Don't think we are not listening. Just continue. And I'm not tired. I can do it for as long as I can. So thank you so much for your time. When they come with all the deceit, we will be here to remind the righteous, to remind those people who are, to remind ourselves where we were coming from. Many of us were coming from believing that maybe Nigeria will work. But over time, we that are not elders, they call us, they say we are too young to see. We are too young to understand. We are too young to be wise enough. We are inexperienced. Then we ask them, how far with your wise, the people who are wise, how far with your wisdom, how far with your experience, how come we are now refugees in our own supposed country, how come we are now the poverty capital of the world, with your expertise, with your experience, with your wisdom, how come that we are no longer safe in that country? We are asking questions. We are profiling our solutions. You are telling us our solutions are wrong because we can't see the future. We have no vision. Did you see the vision that you will be killing us like this? Did you see the vision that terrorists will be kidnapping us? Did you see the vision that our children will become slaves? Did you see the vision that our people will be sold as slaves by terrorists that are now powerful, than the military, powerful than the government. Not because they should be, but because they are the government, right? Did you see that vision? If you tell us that you saw the vision, why didn't you tell us? And what did you do to stop it? Now that we are here, you are telling us that we are wrong. To see a vision of a country where we are all included, where we have a say on how we are governed. You said we are wrong. We are calling for war. Did you see the war that is now taking us 22 years ago and you didn't tell us? Then your evil mind, your blind, selfish vision will not be accepted or acceptable to all of us this time around. We have history. We used to believe, but we no longer believe them. And we believe in our own dream because everything we told you will happen has happened. It will continue to happen if we continue to follow these blind people, these selfish, greedy criminals. I don't care where they come from. I don't care what politics they play. But do you? It's up to you. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to see you some other time. And if you have the time to join me, please do. Set your notification. Subscribe to Maiyegun's Diary Politico. You won't miss anything. I mean, if you haven't. But if you have, give me that thumb up before you go. That thumb up on the video, under it, give that. And I'm going to see you some other time. Learn your Oduduwa anthem again, if you have the time. Good night.
Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí Facebook. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Lórí YouTube. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Bọ́ bàbá gbé wúrẹ́. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ijó ìgbádìyẹ. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Pẹ̀sìdó bá rúfin o. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Kí gómìnà kówó jẹ. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọlọ́pàá tí ń darí fa. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Aṣòfin tí ń rúfin o. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Òpùrọ́ olóṣèlú. Maiyegun máa bí. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Ọ̀jẹ̀lú Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Àní Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo Ọ̀jẹ̀lú Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo Ọ̀jẹ̀lú Ẹ̀súnràkì. Ṣùgbọ́n ẹni bá ti ṣe èyí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe, ọmọ bá dèrò ní fi wọ́n níran o. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo Ọ̀jẹ̀lú Ẹ̀súnràkì. Maiyegun ti dé. Gbogbo
ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ o Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ wọ́n fowó bẹ́ẹ̀ Maiyegun ó sọ pé wọ́n ò bẹ́ẹ̀ oníkan ṣáàtì ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe fáwọn ará ìlú tó gbé wọn débẹ̀ o àyè.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ kì máa yí ṣe eré ọ̀rọ̀ yìí kì í ṣe ẹ̀fẹ̀ ẹni bá ti lè lẹ́bọ̀ lẹ́rù o ọmọ bá dèrò kàṣàyè tú wọn síta.
Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì Maiyegun ti dé gbogbo ọ̀jẹ̀lú ẹ̀ súra kì ṣùgbọ́n ní bá ti ṣe yìí tó yẹ kí wọ́n ṣe ọmọ bá dẹ́rọ̀ òní fi wọ́n níran.
tẹnitẹni ọmọ Maiyegun ọ̀rẹ́ ara ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni mo fọlọ́hún sọ ẹ̀ bá kìlẹ́bù lóòótọ́ olódodo ìlú ọ̀tá ìlú mọ̀mọ́ ni ìwọ.
Thank you.